Coming up to 12 past 7. The Central Highlands has a lot on its calendar as far as projects are concerned. The Development Corporation, they've just released something called its Major Projects Register. The list includes more than 40 major projects for the region with a total value of about $5 billion, but that could expect to be a bit higher. Peter Dowling is the CEO. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Karen.
Good morning. And on this chilly morning, you have a lot to chat to us about. Lots happening in the Central Highlands. What is the Major Projects Register?
Karen, that's a piece of work that we do periodically. It's probably over a 2-year period that we pull that together. And it's a way of actually collating a lot of really good information that's often out there in the public domain, but it's desegregated out there. So our job is that we pull it together in a meaningful and digestible way, and then we can use it as a piece of collateral for our region and beyond. And it's quite a piece of work. We go through and have a set criteria within the team of the type of project we're looking for and its value and its economic impact for jobs. And then we actually go back to proponents that we've identified as having projects at different levels of development, and we ground truth it with them to get the accuracy.
Okay, well, take us through some of those big ticket projects. There's 40, but too many to go through this morning. But I guess there's a huge range of different industries in this.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think that's one of the things we do strive for, is to show the diversity. So typically in a region like ours that is very strong with resources and agriculture, you would think that they dominate, and the resources certainly do. But we do have a variety of projects on our books that shows the diversity of the region. And if I just look at sort of, say, health infrastructure is really well represented, and we've got about $43.5 million worth of projects in that space. And some of that actually stems into some really interesting ways of construction. So if we think of the Blackwater Hospital, as it's commonly called, it's a multi-purpose health service. But they're using modern methods of construction with high-quality fit-out to do their development. And that's really interesting, too, for regions like ours that have challenges with accessing trades and also the cost of development versus the value longer term. And in that space, too, is a really interesting one down at the Carnarvon Gorge with Breeze. And Breeze have got some eco-cabins that have been developed there as well. So just a really interesting smattering of projects that then span into that education, livability space as well.
Mm. And I guess we can't go amiss to look at coal projects and those renewables. What's happening there?
Definitely. So we've got about 5 coal projects on our books at the moment, and they're all extensions, or one of them is a new one. So all in the metallurgical coal space, and that just goes well for the region. I was thinking of this overnight. It really demonstrates that complexity of regions where we do have renewables, we do have our traditional source of energy in thermal coal, and a region like ours is really driving through, from a market and a policy incentivisation perspective, the value of those projects to our region. And we're very much about all comers to our region. We want to see the best projects in our region. And some of the technology that's been used in these projects around the emission reduction and carbon reduction work needs to be noted, because often we're seen just as a coal country, and we're not. We're sort of certainly very strong resources based, but those resource companies are doing a lot of really good work in decarbonising using technology, and they become major projects in their own right. And then obviously we have renewables, so we've got a number of solar farms on our books, as well as a wind farm at the present time.
Peter Dowling is the CEO of the Central Highlands Development Corporation, speaking about the Major Projects Register that's just come out with those 40-plus projects. I'm listening to this, but I'm also wary that I can't go by and not ask you about work, the amount of people to fill these jobs up. We've been seeing worker shortages in different industries. Is that looked at as well in this register?
It's a separate piece of work that the corporation is doing right at the very present moment, Karen. We've got a workforce development program underway, and it's got 2 arms to it. One of them is a workforce development and accommodation strategy that we've currently put in play, We have about 16 clear actions that we want to achieve over the next 12 to 14 months. And we've got a working group that's driving that forward at the moment. So definitely, like many regions in Australia and around the world for that matter, we are struggling in the context of coming up with some solutions for accommodation, but not that. I think the strategy that we've put in place really is focused and pays attention to the interrelationship between accommodation, childcare, and you can keep going on with those key issues that we're all well aware of. So we are looking at that side of the equation. It is a very tight market in the sense of project development across Australia, and that's something we need to put some solutions in place. And one of our solutions, we've got a display home that's being set up as we speak in Emerald to try and give our community in the accommodation space a sense of how modern methods of construction can be utilised in community at a high quality product end. And that'll be released to the market next week, just as a display home, so people can have a quick look through it and get a sense of it's not your classic old dogger or a kit home. It's actually a pre-manufactured quality home that might suit some of our community. So we are looking at different solutions to meet those needs as well.
Housing and workforce, I think those are two major things for regional areas. Really appreciate your time this morning.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you. That's Peter Dowling there. He's the CEO of the Central Highlands Development Corporation, talking about, a total value of about 5 billion projects. But it's probably going to hike a little higher than that of all that is happening in the Central Highlands region.